Yo ho ho, Dom Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Dom Mafia Report. And as I'm sure many of you understand, the majority of my talking track is you read that title correctly. I sincerely believe the Buffalo Bills are about to blank whatever opponent that we are facing. However, I feel like a timid child, right? Or like a dog that came from an abusive home and I'm just starting to get used to it, right? Like just used to like kindness. So I'm timid right now of putting out any type of title that suggests that the Buffalo Bills are about to destroy or annihilate or murder even that specific team. I did it last year, and we all know what happened. Steelers fans absolutely ripped me apart for the longest time. So I don't know what the title of this video is. Whatever you see is what I decided to put out there once I hit the upload button on to YouTube. But regardless, I do see the Buffalo Bills winning this game. This is my preview video. As always, I'm going to describe how I feel like the Buffalo Bills defense is going to perform against the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, and then how the Buffalo Bills offense is going to perform against the Steelers defense. Super excited to get into that. Right now, Vegas has us as 14-point favorites. Like, that's like a college spread right there. So it's making me a little nervous. But all in all, once you look at both rosters, I do see the Buffalo Bills being the better team, and we will get to that with a strict analysis. But before we dive into the nitty-gritty, I do want to give a giant shout out to today's sponsor, and that just so happens to be Prize Picks. Prize Picks is hands down the number one player prop bet platform on the entire internet. Literally, I find myself scrolling through their potential picks for hours at a time before kickoff on Thursday, Sunday, or Monday Night Football. The best thing about it is that they're hooking up the Don Mafia as well. The second that you sign up for Prize Picks, all you need to do is put in the code Don Mafia, and Prize Picks will match your initial deposit all the way up to 100%. So once you use that code, you're getting free money, and then say that you know what you're doing. We're talking easy money, but I'm talking like you can 10x, you can 12x sometimes your money. So whatever you're doing, pause this video, download Prize Picks, use code Don Mafia, and let's get this easy money, baby. So, okay, Don Mafia, so far since Sean McDermott has taken over the Buffalo Bills, we are looking at a 2-1 record. We know the loss came from last year when the Buffalo Bills absolutely came out flat, and the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line was just having an absolute heyday. So, what I want to start off, because I think that this unit is the scariest on this team, is going to hands down be their defense, right? With Mike Tomlin as the head coach, great defensive mind. He has never had a losing season in Pittsburgh out of his 15 years of being the head coach, and the defense has always been his bread and butter. You have to start off with their defensive line. There is no TJ Watt right off into the edge, right? He ended up suffering a pretty bad injury right at the beginning of the season. He's not going to be there against Buffalo and more than likely throughout the remainder of this season. However, you do have a gentleman by the name of Alex Highsmith who is currently leading the league in sacks. Granted, this is only the 5th week of football. It is somebody that we need to watch out for, and our offensive line is really going to have a heyday trying to make sure that he doesn't get much penetration. A lot of the reason why he has been having so much success is, of course, because of Cam Hayward. I'm not sure about you guys, but I just remember like PTSD of hearing the announcers screaming, "Oh, and another tip ball from Hayward, another tip ball from Hayward, blah, blah, blah." He's one of the best defensive tackles in the game. Those two are definitely going to get pressure. So Josh Allen is definitely going to have to be on his P's and Q's, be aware in case those guys get into the backfield. And our offensive line is going to have to strategize and make sure that these guys are not disruptors. As far as their middle of the field, their linebackers and their safeties, very fast. Very, very, very fast. So I'm not anticipating seeing the Bills trying to challenge this team often vertically down the field. Now, they do have some pretty weak outside corners. Levi Wallace, that is a name that we are very familiar with over in Buffalo. He is one of their starters. And then now we also have somebody on the opposite side who is filling in for somebody that was recently just injured. So the outside of that secondary is a bit weak. So as far as a key of how I foresee the Buffalo Bills offense, like really being able to attack this team, is pick on Levi Wallace and pick on the outside and just really just pick on their corners the entire time, because their slot corner, I really like the Isaiah McKenzie matchup. Say that McKenzie is out of concussion protocol. Really like Stephon Diggs on Levi Wallace or whoever he is matched up on, and really love whoever Gabe Davis is going to be lined up against on the outside as well. I'm not seeing us really going for a lot of deep passes. Like I said, you have Minkah Fitzpatrick, absolute stud of a safety. I feel like every game I've watched of him, he's pulled off an interception. He's an absolute ball hawk. But as far as offensive game plan and attack plan, literally go on ahead and just literally pick on those outside corners. And also, listen, when it comes to our run game, Devin Singletary has proven to us this year that he is the most competent back in that room. Don't give up on the run. Hand the ball to Devin Singletary. Maybe even get James Cook involved. I feel like that this really can be a James Cook sort of coming out game, right? Especially with his ability of being able to run off to the outside. Devin Singletary as well. As far as the Bills' offense attack plan, like I said, make sure you attack those corners and feed Singletary. Feed Singletary. Don't give me any more Zach Moss attempts, especially when it comes into third or fourth down. It blows my mind of how many more times that this team needs to see that you can't put the ball in his hands on situations such as that. So as far as that works out, I do see the Buffalo Bills offense taking advantage. The Pittsburgh Steelers have a tremendous defense. They have some great personnel, but at the end of the day, they are nowhere near a complete defense by any means. There are some holes. So now it comes down into the Buffalo Bills defense against the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Number one, we have to talk about Kenny Pickett. I know everybody is really brushing him aside based off of his performance last week, where they ended up benching Mitch Trubisky, and then Mr. Pickett came out and threw 3 interceptions. Now, several of those interceptions, I don't think that we should be clicking our heels just yet. There was a lot of context that went into those, whether or not that it was a tip ball, whether or not that it was a mess up from the receivers, etc. I thought he still played pretty good. His ball placement looked great, but at the end of the day, he is a rookie, and I have no idea why Mike Tomlin wants to start a rookie against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo as his very first start in the NFL. His scouting report in college with Kenny Pickett, he's normally pretty calm in the pocket. He's not affected. But Sean McDermott literally needs to make this man's life a living hell. A living hell. Mix up as many different looks as possible. Mix up as many blitz packages, organic pressure, different coverage schemes. Welcome this gentleman into the NFL and overwhelm the hell out of him. It's going to be definitely beneficial since the Steelers' offensive line, literally there is not a single Pro Bowler on that offensive line. Not a single one. I'm not saying that they're trash, but I'm saying that they are probably about one level above trash at below average within the league. So many favorable matchups. So many favorable matchups, whether or not that it's Von Miller, whether or not that it's Rousseau, Boogie Basham. These guys have potential to eat. So of the interior within our defensive line and also our defensive ends. There's mismatches galore, and we need to take absolute advantage of it. Same thing with the secondary. We just need these guys to stay healthy. At the end of the day, nobody is talking about how great Elam has been playing. Nobody is talking about how great he has been playing. And so he made sure that Tyreek Hill was quiet. He made sure that Rashad Bateman was quiet those past 2 games. He's not getting the credit that he deserves. He's doing absolutely fantastic. Then, of course, we also have Dane Jackson on the outside, who did make his presence known in that Baltimore game last week, and then Jordan Poyer and Damar Hamlin. Something to think about as well, which is very interesting, is that Hamlin and Dane Jackson played with Kenny Pickett at Pittsburgh. So that's also going to be an interesting dynamic since both of them are very familiar with his play style throughout practice in their collegiate career. As far as the defense is concerned, I think I've already mentioned it. Make Kenny Pickett's life a living hell. Make it a living hell. This is his first game. I feel bad for him, for Mike Tomlin saying, "Oh yeah, Rook, let's go ahead and throw you against the Buffalo Bills, one of the best defenses in the league, one of the best teams in the league, at their second home game of the year, where fans are going to be rowdy as hell. And best of luck, young kid. He's about to get destroyed." And I feel really, really bad. Najee Harris is always something to watch out for. He's a great running back, but like I said, their offensive line is suspect. He's been struggling a bit as of late due to that offensive line performance. And then the receivers on the outside with Chase Claypool, who has had a slow start. And then, of course, with Deontay Johnson, who is a threat. He's fast. He's a great receiver, but with his explosive play capabilities. So he also has a lot of drops. So we're going to have to see how that all kind of plays out. But I think the Buffalo Bills defense should be able to hold the Pittsburgh Steelers down to a bit. As far as my final score prediction is, I'm not sure if I want to go with the spread of 14 points, right? I mean, I'm not going to, let's say that I was a gambling man. I am not going to take the Bills minus 14. I am not. There's no way. So my final score prediction, I think I'm going to go on ahead and then I'm going to say Bills 28 and then Steelers 21. So I see it being a one-score game. I see the Steelers maybe like adding that last score like during garbage time, something along those lines, but I see the Bills handedly winning this. I just don't see them winning it by that much, right? I mean, right now, I feel like the Steelers are in desperation mode. I feel like that their defense is going to absolutely come out there and want to win. So I suppose we shall see. Down Mafia, do me a favor, leave your score prediction in the comments section. Always love hearing your thoughts on that. And before I let you go, you better always remember, let's go Buffalo.